Ange. The team news ahead of the game, please.
Yeah, from the other night, I think the only one that's missing is Gio Lo Celso. He got a bit of a quad strain, so we took him off at half time. So it's nothing too serious, but obviously we've got the international break coming up, so we're kind of hoping not too long after that everyone else got through and is available.
So let's dive straight into transfers. Deadline day. I know you've got a flyer.
Yeah. That first one was just the filibuster, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was just
just
soften me up. Yeah, go.
I was way up. I thought Mickey Van Den might have picked something.
Okay.
Brendan Johnson's clubs are still talking. I know you always said that you can never replace Harry Kane. That's someone who's not a like for like, but exciting. Can you give us an update on that?
Not really. I mean, it's again, I'm kind of in the position where, you know, obviously other people are in control of those matters, incomings, outgoings, and I'm not really brought into the loop until, you know, things are concluded. So for me to talk about, you know, potential players when whether that's in or out, when it may or may not happen, I just don't think it's my place to talk about it. You know, we're obviously, countdown clock says 9 or 10 hours. We'll find everything out in the next sort of short period, and we'll go from there.
I'll be outside at midnight. So yeah. If you do get one or two in though today, looking at the players who started so well, Destiny, Guillermo, will you be happy, Madders? Will you be happy overall?
Yeah, look, I mean, the ones we've brought in so far, you know, I think, you know, the evidence shows that they've all been really good contributors for us, and that's what you look for. So, like I said, you know, whether it's Vicario or Matters or Mickey Van der Veen, Mano Solomon, and even sort of Destiny coming back, you know, coming in sort of for his first year. I'm really pleased, and that's what you're looking for, because obviously it's not just about bringing players in, but if you're bringing players in and they are contributing straight away, it's probably a good indicator that, you know, the business we've done so far has been good. But yeah, again, until you get to the end of the window and you know exactly where it all falls and we're into the season, we won't know the exact outcome of everything. Excuse me.
There's clearly a number of players who need to move out as well, maybe loan or permanent. You know the squad you've got now. Some are turning down moves and aren't moving. If they do stay, Ange, and it looks like some might, what's your plan, integrating them back into the squad? Because it is a big squad, isn't it? But what's your plans on some of those players you don't see a future?
Yeah, no one's not been integrated to the squad. There's no one that hasn't been training with the team. So, you know, I'm not sort of isolating anyone at the moment. As you said, you know, players have got their own reasons for making these decisions, but ultimately, you know, come the deadline today, we're going to have to name a 25-man list, and we've got more than that at the moment. So some people are going to miss out, and then, you know, I guess again, it's sort of up to them to sort of decide, you know, what the next step is. But from my perspective at the moment, like I said, we haven't excluded anyone from training. The numbers are manageable right now, and whilst they're manageable, you know, I don't see the need for us to do sort of anything different to what we have been doing. Thanks, mate.
Hi, good afternoon. There are a lot of changes at Spurs this summer. How pleased are you with, in the league, the players and yourself were able to adapt so quickly and work so well as a collective?
Yeah, look, it's been encouraging and promising, I guess, is the words I'm kind of trying to define it as. We've, you know, I've already said we've done a lot of changes this year. You know, we've changed coaching staff, we've changed the way we train, we've changed the way we play, we've changed personnel, some significant personnel. You know, within that context, you know that whenever there's such major change, that it takes a while for things to really feel comfortable for everybody, you know, the whole club, because even me, I'm still new, so, you know, the way we all work. But so within that context, I've been really encouraged by what I've seen. You know, the players are really trying to play the way we want to. They're showing real character, and I keep using the word resilience to you know, adjust and not let the fact that, you know, so many changes have happened to affect, you know, our performance. Our performance has been fairly consistent, because it's very easy, you know, for the players to say, well, you know, with so many changes, to have excuses as to why we wouldn't start well. I mean, we've had, you know, 4 official games so far, and 3 of them have been away from home, so it's not exactly been an easy start for this group of players. So I like the fact that they've shown that character, but I also know we've got a long way to go. We're only very much at the beginning, and we've still got plenty of challenges ahead.
Despite the defeat at Fulham, how important was Richarlison's goal for his confidence levels and his role in this team moving forward?
Look, I guess because everyone talks about it, and I'm not in Richie's head, and I'm not in the players' heads to really know how they feel, but I guess it stops people talking about the fact that he didn't score. But I was happy with his contribution. I already said I thought probably the other night was probably, he wasn't at the same level that he has in the other 3 games, but he gets a goal, so people sort of focus on the goal. But I'm still looking at, contribution to the team, and I still think there are areas that, Richie could have, needs to improve for us to, keep improving as a team. But he's not the only one. All of them are in that boat. But anything that gives a player confidence, belief is great, particularly for strikers. I get that because, like I said, that's what people focus on. But, I wasn't unhappy with Richie before he scored the goal.
What's the biggest threat you expect from Burnley tomorrow?
A couple. I love the way that Vincent Kompany went about tackling the championship. It's a really tough league. Everyone knows that, and I thought the way his team played and really had a clear identity, I thought was outstanding. And looking at their first 2 games, that's how they're going to tackle the Premier League. So that there's belief within that squad, in the manager, and in their methods. They're a hard-working team. They're a very fit side. You look at all the sort of running measurements during the week, and they're up there. And at home, really good pressing team. So we're going to get challenged for sure. Playing away in Premier League is always tough anyway, but it'll be a good challenge for us, and we're going to need to be at our sort of current best, the best we can be right now, to overcome that, because they're going to work hard, they're going to press us, and we're going to have to be really brave and believe in our football to get through it. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, how are you?
Good, mate.
It's the 3rd away game in a row. Third away game in 4. I was speaking yesterday to West Ham manager David Moyes, who kind of questioned why you've had to play 3 away games. Do you feel it's a bit unfair that you've only had 1 home game so far, and the start of the season has been so tough in terms of the schedule?
It is what it is, there's no point, I assume these things are done because of, some, I don't know, fancy algorithm or something, I assume it's a random thing or some process behind it, and we got dealt with. At some point, I'm sure that flips, and we'll obviously get the equal amount of home games. Obviously, the cup game being away sort of exacerbates that, because, like I said, we've had 3 games away from home in a week, 4 out of our first 5, and our first home game was a really good game. You want to sort of grow on that, but for a team that's in transition, there's no greater way to find or reveal character, than making it tough. So in many respects, if we get through this spell well, it's good. I think it helps us build some real strength within the sort of unity of the team.
You've been linked with several players, so you've always spoken about Brennan Johnson, Conor Gallagher's another, Lloyd Kelly is another. You sat here about a month ago when you first met us, and you said that you love a rebuild. Is this the kind of idea you had when you were sat there a month ago, how Spurs would look now in terms of a rebuild?
Well, yeah, it's part of the process, yeah, but it's, the rebuilds don't happen sort of, the rebuild is something that happens over a period of time, and you have to overcome certain hurdles and, certain landmarks along the way. One is change of personnel, so that's obviously something. Then change of methodology, there's so many things that are in that. So the rebuild that I love is one that takes time, and like I said, we're still at the beginnings of it. So where we're at the moment is where we're at, and every sort of team I've been at that has been different. There've been different challenges. How much the team changes in one window, how much how much of a change it's been from the previous regime. There's all these kind of other factors that go into it, but we're still, I'm at pains to sort of keep saying it, but we're still at very much the infancy of what I want to try and create in terms of the team and the club we want to be. So that, notwithstanding that, we understand that we still need to perform and get results, so that, in my experience, that's what the only thing that accelerates that process is if you can get some real belief, and because with every performance, with every result, whatever resistance or barriers there are slowly get chipped away.
Finally, this club has had some big name managers, real historic managers down the years, but you have achieved something already that none of them have achieved. No one has ever had a pop song sung about them. Firstly, Robbie Williams, do you know him? Have you ever met him? And what did you think when you heard Robbie
God.
Williams had changed the lyrics of one of his most famous songs?
That's one of the most sort of backhanded, sort of underwhelming compliments I've ever had. You've had some unbelievably fantastic managers, big names, successful, and then there's you, Ange. You know, so and then have I ever heard of Robbie Williams? Where have I been living, mate? I mean, seriously. Look,
What do you think?
I get. Look, I love Robbie Williams. I think he's brilliant. He's a great entertainer. I've got he made a song brilliant. I think it came off the back of one of our supporters. Look, it's great. You know, the alternative is they make up songs about you that are less than complimentary. So I'll take it for what it is. But yeah, thanks for that, mate. I'll just float out of here, you know, feeling good about myself.
I'll rephrase the question next time.
Thank you. That's fine, mate. Thank you.
Ali. Previous managers at the club have occasionally spoken about
Successful, big name.
very
Yeah.
successful man, have spoken about having club signings that have come in, players that maybe the club really wanted, and I don't know if it's compromise or they've gone for. With your system and being such specific kind of players that you need, can that happen with you, or are they very much the players that come in are people that you want?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know sort of club signings, what that means. I mean, I think I would never sort of approve a signing that I didn't think was going to fit into sort of the way we want to play. And I guess if it's at a younger level, at an academy level, of course, I think then, you know, it is the clubs. But I think when you've got a senior manager and you appoint him and you give him the responsibility of sort of charting a course ahead, you've got to give him the players that will suit the way he wants to play, you know. And I think the evidence so far, like I said, with the players we've brought in, is that they've all made an impact, which shows that, you know, that the brief is there, that we're looking for players who will play the football or fit into the system I want to play. So, you know, I think, like I said, I'm not sure, I can't refer to the past, but, you know, the only signings, like I said, that I wouldn't have a massive say over would be, you know, the signings at a club, or at academy level or younger level, where, you know, rightly so, the club, if it identifies somebody who they think has real potential for the future, then they should go about doing that.
What's the kind of balance, if you don't mind me asking, between the ones, a player that you will say, I really want him, and ones that maybe the scouting department come to you with?
Yeah, there's the ones I really want and the ones the scouting department put to me that I really want. There's no differentiation, mate. There's nothing, there's like, the scouting department should work hand in hand, you know. And look, again, this is one of the things where we are very, very much in the infancy of. Like that's one of the parts of that we really haven't really, you know, this window's, fair to say, it's been an unusual one because of, you know, where the club is at the moment in terms of personnel in that area. So, you know, moving forward though, there would be some more clearer processes within that. But again, like I said, the evidence we have so far is the players were brought in, and you can see that, you know, that they've been aligned with kind of my vision for the club.
A lot of players linked, especially today, seem to be homegrown. How kind of, I won't say restricted, but how much you've got to have that in one mind, the amount of foreign players and homegrown you have to have?
Yeah, it is. It's a balance. I think it's important because it's not just about sort of this window. It's where you're going to find yourself in the next couple of windows. There's got to be a strategy behind it. You know, you've got some under 21 players at the moment who, you know, next couple of years will not be able to be fit under that criteria. So I'm really keen on sort of building a team here. So we don't want to see too much, you know, as much movement as we have, say, this window in the next 2 or 3. So to do that, you're trying to hopefully build a squad that, you know, won't require too many major adjustments. And part of that is, you know, knowing that we need a sort of homegrown quota. So if we can fill that in, whether that's with players coming through our own academy or, you know, within the league, then I think it's important.
Charlie?
Fulham obviously was the first kind of hiccup, I guess, after a really bright start. start. What was your message broadly to the players after?
Look, I think, I think I said after the game, the players were disappointed. You're always disappointed when you don't achieve, the outcome, and in a cup game, that's obviously means you're out of a competition. But like I said, I really liked, again, their resilience. We were playing away from home against a Premier League team. Obviously, made a lot of changes, which made it difficult for the group. A lot of guys hadn't played significant minutes, which is always challenging. And I liked the way they hung in there for the whole game, and we've still got to build on that. So, but ultimately, they were disappointed, which you want, but also understanding that, again, like I said, we're at the beginnings of a process, and it won't be the only hiccup. There'll be plenty of hiccups. There'll be plenty of challenges along the way. It's how we kind of react to that and how we respond to that that's going to be the key.
And how much are you looking forward to this period, like once the transfer window's over and you know?
Oh, I can't wait.
Same with that. You know.
Don't lie, you love it, mate. Come on.
You know the group you've got, and there isn't that uncertainty.
To a certain extent, but I still like, I think anyone who kind of knows me and the way I build teams, I still like players sort of being on edge. I would hate for anyone to think, okay, we've got through the window, I'm comfortable now, because I certainly won't let anyone feel that way. We've still got a lot to achieve. We've still got a lot to work on. We've still got a lot to push each other on. The players, whatever group we settle with, there'll be competition within them. As we know, between now and sort of New Year, we're obviously out of the cup now, so we've got just the league to concentrate on, and every game's going to be important. So performance in every game is going to be important. I want competition for places, so there'll never be a feeling of comfort within the group, not from myself or anyone else. But in terms of maybe the uncertainty around people's futures, maybe that settles them. But I'd hate, like I said, I won't allow anyone to think, okay, well, I'm set now for a couple of months and I can just sit back and relax. It's not the way I kind of work. There'll always be a sense of edge around everything we do.
Is that a bit of a different challenge for you? Obviously, coming from Celtic, you always would have been competing on multiple fronts this time until January anyway. There is just the one. Is that something you've got to adapt to as a coach as well?
No, it's not the first time in my career, mate, and ultimately it doesn't really matter what my thought process of all these things is the same. I want to build a team that gives it a platform to be successful in whatever we do. So through that process, like I said, there's going to be some ups, downs. We're going to get, we're going to have some not good days, hopefully more good days than bad days. And how we respond to the bad days is going to be just as important as how we do when things are going well. And no, it's not unusual. I mean, I've been, wherever I've worked, Celtic was probably the unusual one, because they're always in every tournament and deep in every tournament. So you end up playing 60 games a year, irrespective of sort of how you go. So that was probably more unique than this situation.
Okay, we'll finish this section with George, please.
How about it?
I guess there'll be some departures for 11 p.m. and it feels like Hugo Lloris will be one of them. I know you've only had a couple of months with him, but he's been here for 11 years. I want to ask you about how much of a great professional he's been for Spurs.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've only been here a couple of months, and Hugo's been excellent throughout the whole process. There's no doubt he's had an outstanding career and contribution to this football club. He's been the captain for quite a long time, and he's been very professional. Obviously, working with Birchie and the other goalkeepers. He's sort of been helping the others. Obviously Vic being the new keeper as well. So I have nothing negative to say about him, and I wouldn't. And even to be honest, I'm in no position to do that anyway, because I've only literally just walked in the door and he's been here a long time. And I think when that happens, I think you allow people to kind of, be themselves and be who they are, and not sort of judge that in any way. But there's been nothing, like I said, other than sort of him being very, very professional about everything.
And somebody that has departed yesterday, Dane Starler, on loan, sort of said he's going to sit down with him. How do you view, I guess, sort of long-term, this kind of career path for him going to Ipswich? Do you feel like this could be a loan that helps him maybe be part of the first team next season?
Yeah, definitely. That's why we sent him out. I mean, I thought Dane was really good with us during pre-season. The reason I held on to him, there was a lot of interest in him right from the beginning. When I got here, but the reason I kept him with us for so long was I was really encouraged with the way he was training and the way he was developing. But there was always going to come a point where with young players, you need to decide. And I've always felt after a certain time that the best kind of development for young players is to play. And you have to make a decision, is he going to play enough for us now to help him continue to develop and become a first team player for this football club? Or would it be better off, going somewhere where, and let's face it, I mean, Ipswich are a good side, they play good football, they've started the season well, he's going to have to fight for his position there as well. It's not like anything's going to be given. And we know the Championship's a tough league, so if he can go there, play a significant number of games, perform well, then I think for us that's exactly what we want from these kind of, loan periods. And then come pre-season next year, hopefully he's advanced where he then becomes somebody who is competing for a first team squad.